Hello and welcome to Fairy Tales in the Park.
Hello, you must be Vanessa Dinning.
Indeed. Well, that must mean that you are Catherine Caldwell.
That's right. Do you recognize us? We are your trusty narrators from many past Fairy Tales in the Park performances in Balboa Park.
Oh, I do so miss performing in the beautiful Casa del Prado Theatre.
Me too. But just think how extra special it will be when we are all able to safely return.
And even though we can't be with you in person, this is still one of our favorite events of the year.
And we just had to stop by to introduce the show.
This is the 12th year of Fairy Tales in the Park. And even though it's going to be different this year, I have a feeling it's still going to be a great show. Don't you think, Catherine?
Oh, absolutely. We have all kinds of exciting special guest narrators for you tonight, and the dancing is as beautiful as ever.
That sounds amazing. I can't wait to get started. Shall we hand off the show now?
Good idea, Vanessa. We are sending you and your families lots of love during this challenging time. And we are so excited for you to watch these incredible ballets come to life on your screen.
Thank you so much for tuning in to experience our first ever virtual Fairy Tales in the Park.
And now, enjoy the show. Hello and welcome. First of all, thank you, Catherine and Vanessa. I'm sure it's very special for our SDCYB families to see both of you today. My name is Lauren Houghton-Gillis, and I am your host for Fairy Tales in the Park, an Enchanted Virtual Experience. I am a director, choreographer, and professor of musical theater dance at Indiana University. I was also in the Broadway and national touring company of Wicked for many, many years. It was very exciting to be asked to host this event because before moving to Indiana this summer, I earned my MFA in musical theater from San Diego State University. And the San Diego arts community has become a very, very special community to me over the last few years. Today, you are going to learn about the historic San Diego Civic Youth Ballet in Balboa Park, an organization I've recently come to know and love. But before you do, we are going to leap right into our first ballet performance. Throughout the next hour, each of our fairy tales will be introduced by a very special celebrity guest narrator. And our first is not only a profound inspiration to so many SDCYB students, but also to countless dancers all over the country, all over the world, including myself. Having her as a part of this experience is something all of us will never forget. And it is my great honor to introduce ballet icon, Misty Copeland.
Hi everyone, my name is Misty Copeland, and I am a principal dancer with the American Ballet Theater. Today, I am going to tell you about a very special ballet called the Firebird. This amazing ballet is based on a Russian fairy tale, and I have actually danced the role of the Firebird before. It was such a special part for me, so much so that I decided to write a book called Firebird to help inspire young dancers to reach for their dreams. Now, this ballet was first created by Michael Folking, a very famous choreographer from a long time ago. But in 2012, when I first danced the role, the American Ballet Theater brought in Alexei Ratmansky, another Russian choreographer, to create a brand new version. Today, you will see the San Diego Civic Youth Ballet's original version, which was intended to be premiered this past April, but unfortunately had to be canceled because of the school and theater closure. However, we are excited to show you some excerpts today and hopefully inspire you to come see the full ballet as soon as SDCYB is able to bring it to the stage again. Now, our story today starts with Prince Ivan, our hero, as he travels through a magical garden. In this garden, there's an enchanted tree on which grows golden apples, said to give youth and strength to all who eat them. Also in this garden lives a mysterious firebird, a magical glowing bird. Prince Ivan and his hunting party try to capture the enchanting firebird as she runs through the forest. Prince Ivan is successful, but after he captures the firebird, he decides to let her go. To thank him for freeing her, she offers him one of her feathers. This magical feather can be used to summon the firebird if he ever needs help, and becomes very valuable to Ivan later in the story. Let's watch as Ivan meets this incredible creature and the story begins to unfold.
In 1945, the world was just beginning to recover from a war. That same year, Maria Fielding founded the San Diego Civic Youth Ballet as a cultural activity of the Parks and Recreation Department, providing the youth of our community with beauty and grace at a time when it was needed more than ever. In the 1950s, when I was a student at SDCYB, we moved into the space we are in today, only back then it was the Food and Beverage Building.
My sisters and I trained and performed with the San Diego Civic Youth Ballet, which was an important part of our daily lives. We all went on to dance and teach professionally for many years. Our dance studio was the old Food and Beverage Building, but in the late 1960s, it was damaged by an earthquake and had to be demolished. It could easily have become a parking lot. But thanks to the efforts of the Committee of 100 and cultural youth groups like the San Diego Civic Youth Ballet, Proposition M passed and the new Casa del Prado was dedicated in November 1971. It has touched the lives of many young artists for almost 50 years.
At that time, SDCYB became a 501c3 nonprofit organization that no longer was directly subsidized by the city. For a long time, the ballet school was run entirely by parent volunteers. Generations of dancers and their families have come through our doors. For example, I danced with the ballet school in the 1980s. Those were good years. Sometime later, my daughter Lauren learned ballet in those very same studios. And eventually, she was cast in the title role of the 2014 rendition of Cinderella.
Over the last decade, when I danced at SDCYB, we experienced a lot of growth. We now present 4 annual productions at the Casa del Prado Theater and offer year-round classes as well as summer camps and intensives. We prioritize community engagement through a thriving outreach program in San Diego public schools. The SDCYB Performance Ensemble can be seen performing all over the region, and our Ballet for Me class is currently in its 6th year.
I am currently a level 3A student at SDCYB, and when I step up to the bar for class, I am following in a very special tradition of dancers who came before me. Now it is 2020, and we are celebrating our 75th anniversary. And even after 75 years, the ballet continues to provide all of us with beauty and grace in a time when we need it more than ever.
Wow, 75 years. What an incredible legacy. And I'm sitting here and I'm watching these women, and they are totally different in so many ways, different generations, different life experiences, and yet the grand jeté and the plie that Maria Fielding taught to Anne in the 1950s is the same grand jeté and plie that young Calafia is learning today. Dance has the power to bring us all together, to assemble or assemble, so to speak. And ballet specifically has a timelessness that is exemplified perfectly by the 75-year legacy of SDCYB dancers. This is the 12th year of Fairy Tales in the Park, and it too has become an important part of that legacy because it serves as the annual fundraiser for the SDCYB Scholarship Fund. This year is no different in that regard. We know that this is a challenging time, but if you are able and inspired to donate, you can do so by visiting www.sdcyb.org or by texting SDCYB75 to 44321. Thank you for your support of arts education.
Hi, everybody. It's Brian Malarkey, and I have the honor of telling you about the next fairy tale you are about to see. An excerpt from the San Diego Civic Youth Ballet 2015 production of The Sleeping Beauty, which was created in honor of SDCYB's 70th anniversary. In this scene, we will meet Princess Aurora as she arrives for her birthday celebration. Now, as a chef, I have prepared some pretty elaborate meals, and I can only imagine how much fun it would be to create a feast for her 16th birthday. Shall we say a giant lobster feast with cake and ice cream, and maybe a giant souffle that rises and rises and rises for this beautiful dessert, all right? Candles that will never burn out and dreams that will always be fulfilled. Back to the story. Her friends and suitors are excited to welcome her to the festivities, and some of the youngest guests at the party present her with a dance. To thank everyone for coming, Aurora dances a very famous variation. Now, even though the majority of this production was original SDCYB choreography, got it right. This particular variation is the original version, created by Marius Petipa, a ballet master from the 19th century. I know from experience that it takes a lot of hard work and preparation to create a perfectly crafted meal in the kitchen. And much like that, this ballet variation you are about to see is not only perfectly crafted, but it must have taken a lot of hard work and preparation to create. Let's take a look at the Sleeping Beauty.
I'm Jessica Sheridan. I am an alumna of San Diego Civic Youth Ballet. I grew up in San Diego loving music and dance from the time I was a tiny child. I had big plans of one day becoming a prima ballerina and dancing in the Nutcracker of Swan Lake. I wanted the tutu and the tights and the shoes and the crown. I did not become the prima ballerina I originally dreamed of, but I am very lucky to make my living as a performer in musical theater. My work includes 5 Broadway shows and 7 national tours. Shows like Les Mis, Mary Poppins, The Producers, Sister Act, Beauty and the Beast, and most recently, Hello, Dolly. I've danced with Liza Minnelli, performed opposite Bette Midler, and played Mrs. Claus at Radio City Music Hall. The foundation of my ability to have this career came from the training I received in San Diego. The building blocks of dance that I learned are still being taught in classes today. Arts training is so very important, especially to kids. Dance, in particular, is a form of communication and expression, which makes it an ideal outlet for young children to use their imagination and develop their creativity. Dance helps develop motor skills, confidence, decision-making, perseverance, focus, collaboration, accountability, self-expression, and independence. Arts education in general is critical to virtually all other disciplines. Michelle Obama is quoted in saying, "No one should ever think that dance and music and theater are a luxury, because for so many of our students, they are truly necessities." I am extremely grateful for all of the arts training I received in my life. So it's most important, now more than ever, that you support the arts, in particular San Diego Civic Youth Ballet. Thank you.
Before we go on to our next performance, I just wanted to take a few moments to reflect and talk about why arts education is so important to me, and specifically dance and ballet. My family moved around quite a bit as a kid. I was born in Detroit, Michigan, and then we moved to Chicago, and then we moved to Ohio, and then we moved to Pittsburgh, and then we moved back to Michigan, and then we moved to Atlanta, Georgia. And this was all before high school. So I have to say the one constant in my life was dance. And I was dancing ballet from the age of 3, and I made it my life's work, performing as a dancer on Broadway. And the constant is that studio. The constant is that ballet bar. And I have to say, now in my 30s, approaching 40, I still take ballet almost every single day. I teach dance, but there's something meditative. There's something so constant and reassuring in coming back to the ballet bar. So I hope that you can support this amazing organization because they are providing that safe space for students, that artistic outlet for students. And it's so incredible that they're still able to do that during this time with Zoom, online. So I just really hope that you can continue to support them and support the San Diego arts community, because I don't know where I would be today if it wasn't for the arts. So now we have a very, very special, one of my favorite parts of the evening. The SDCYB senior class is going to be dancing, the class of 2020. And it was a rough year to be a senior. I know that because I just got my MFA and I didn't get to have a graduation, but we hope you enjoy our beautiful senior class of dancers.
Hello, everyone. I'm California State Assemblymember Todd Gloria. As a San Diego native and the previous San Diego City Council member for District 3, Balboa Park has always had a special meaning to me. I was also on hand to present the San Diego Civic Youth Ballet with a 2018 Balboa Park Sustainability Award for their work on their fairy tale village. So I understand how unique and important this annual event is to our community. Our next ballet variation was filmed outside in Balboa Park. We are so lucky here in San Diego to have such a historic and beautiful place like the Casa del Prado for students to dance in. And while I'm sure you're all looking forward to moving and dancing in those ballet studios again soon, in the meantime, we're excited to be able to take you on a virtual trip to the park to meet the Lilac Fairy. Now, I heard that just a few minutes ago, you met Princess Aurora from the Sleeping Beauty. And you can think of the Lilac Fairy as Princess Aurora's fairy godmother. In the ballet, when Aurora pricks her finger on the spindle, the Lilac Fairy uses her magic to ensure that Aurora does not die, but instead just falls asleep into a deep sleep for 100 years. The Sleeping Beauty was presented at SDCYB in 2015, which was also the 100th anniversary of Balboa Park's 1915 Panama, California exposition. With such a rich history and organizations like SDCYB, which is now celebrating its 75th anniversary, it's no wonder why Balboa Park is often referred to as the crown jewel of San Diego. It's my honor to take us to a place we all love for a special performance by the Lilac Fairy.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight to our virtual production of Fairy Tales in the Park. We wanted to take the time to spotlight and interview one of our favorite, most dedicated families, the Escobar Mueller family. I'd like to welcome them to the interview now. Hi.
Hi. How are you?
How are you guys?
Doing really good.
I know that last year you did play the coveted role of the Nutcracker Prince in the Nutcracker. What are some of the greatest lessons that you learned from playing such a role?
Some of the greatest lessons I learned from playing this role is that I can fun while having such an important responsibility. And I also learned that I can cause an impact when I perform on stage, especially to a lot of people in the audience. And I also learned how to work with groups of people that I've never worked with before. And I also learned how to value what my teachers have taught me over the past years.
If you could pick any dream ballet role to dance one day, what would that be and why?
A dream ballet role would definitely be taking part in the Dance of the Little Swans, because when I was around like 2, my mom showed me the video, and that's when I knew that I wanted to do ballet, so I would love to do the dance that got my career started, you know?
Oh, yeah. So, America, As I know, but most of the world might not know, Leo and Alessandra are not the only SDCYB dancers that we have in this interview today. You also take the adult class. What are some of the benefits of ballet training that you've discovered, not only but for you, but your family as a whole?
First of all, I think it is a fun thing to do. It's not just the physical benefits that you get, to the training. I mean, you get more flexible, you get, your cardio done, all of those things, that you get rid of all the stress that you've been having during the day. I mean, you enjoy it while you're taking the class, you forget about everything else. And you get to share that with your family. I mean, sharing same teachers, like we like to talk about it, and fun things that the teachers do when they're teaching. Actually, that's been
I love
a lot
that.
of we have something to share.
Do the kids give you corrections?
Of course, all the time. And
thank you guys so much for taking the time to interview with me today. I can't wait to see you guys again in person in the studio in the Balboa Park.
Yeah, we miss you. We miss everything.
Have a great day. We miss you.
Bye.
Bye.
What a beautiful family. And how special that America takes ballet class from the same teachers as Leo and Alessandra. I love that. We have to make sure that the doors of these ballet studios stay open for families like theirs. As the world of live theater performance faces a very uncertain time, it's becoming clear that the generosity from supporters like you is more important than ever. We hope you have enjoyed this enchanted afternoon of ballet, and that afterwards you will consider sharing this video with all of your friends and family across the world. You can also show your support by making a donation to SDCYB by using the information found in the scrolling banner below. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Greg Garcia, and I play for the San Diego Padres. It looks like we are approaching the ninth inning, so to speak, and I'm excited to be here to introduce our final fairy tale. Now, in baseball, it's important to trust and depend on your teammates, and luckily, in the next story, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Snow White has her own team that helps her get through a tough situation. This ballet was originally premiered by the San Diego Civic Youth Ballet back in 2015, and we can't wait to bring it into your home today. Our story begins with Snow White making her way through the forest, trying to escape from her stepmother, the evil queen. After dancing with some friendly animals she meets along the way, Snow White happens upon a small house, the House of Seven Dwarfs. Now, I'm used to 9 players on the field, but I think in this case, 7 will do just fine. These funny and clever characters help take care of her, but pretty soon her evil stepmother, disguised as an old lady, finds her and presents her with a poisonous apple. Will the dwarves outwit the evil queen's attempt at a double play of trickery, or will Snow White take a bite of the apple and strike herself out? No matter what happens, you know the fun of the ballet is sure to be a home run. Enjoy Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
My name is Molly Turbovich-Ridenour, the president and CEO of the San Diego Civic Youth Ballet.
And I'm Danica Pramick-Holdaway, SDCYB's artistic director and the director of all the ballet you've seen during the show.
We wanted to take a few moments to thank you for your support of our historic ballet school.
To say that 2020 has been challenging would be quite an understatement.
But through those challenges, we've also found a great deal of inspiration.
We are inspired by our faculty of ballet instructors who have adapted to the virtual world of Zoom and whose flexibility, wisdom, and dedication has allowed SDCYB to continue our complete schedule of classes, as well as our summer camps and intensives. We've actually even added a few additional classes in the last few months.
We are inspired by our staff and board of directors who work hard every day to fulfill our mission and represent our nonprofit with integrity.
We are inspired by the above and beyond efforts we've seen from our SDCYB parents and family members to ensure that our students can continue to dance with us.
We feel inspired to live in San Diego, America's finest city, and to be part of the incredible Balboa Park community.
We're also inspired by our newfound ability to offer ballet training to students who don't live here in San Diego.
We are inspired by the countless individuals who donated their tickets back to us from our canceled spring production of the Firebird, and by those who donated to a GoFundMe in April, allowing us to raise almost $20,000 at a critical moment.
But our greatest inspiration and the reason we do what we do is our student dancers. They have always shown tenacity and the ability to adapt, but what they've done to continue their study and love for ballet in this particular moment, despite all the obstacles, has been a true example of the beauty and grace that's come to define an SDCYB dancer.
We certainly understand how challenging this time is.
We don't have all the answers to what comes next.
But we know that SDCYB has been around for 75 years.
And we've survived challenging times before.
We will continue to work hard every day on behalf of our student dancers.
And do our part to ensure that everyone has the opportunity to dance.
All we have left now is our grand finale. If someone had told me 6 months ago that I'd be hosting an event in San Diego from my apartment in Bloomington, Indiana, I wouldn't have believed them, but here we are. And while we all cannot wait to return to the live stage again soon, I will say that I am forever grateful for this unique chance to share this experience with all of you today. When I was first asked to participate and saw that it was being referred to as Enchanted, I thought that meant the magic of fairy tales, and certainly it is in part. But being your host today, I have found myself just as enchanted by the San Diego Civic Youth Ballet itself, enchanted by the rich history of its beautiful ballet school, enchanted by our inspiring guests this evening, and enchanted by the generosity because of your donations coming in right now. Most of all, I'm enchanted by the beauty and grace of the SDCYB student dancers.
To me, ballet is about fun, friends, and recitals.
Ballet to me is a place where I get to express myself.
Ballet inspires me to work harder.
I love ballet because it is a discipline that challenges me to work hard and to make difficult movements seem effortless.
For me, ballet is an outlet to express myself. And you get to push yourself to be brave and beyond your comfort zone.
Ballet has helped me realize how important balance and being strong is.
For me, ballet is a time to express my emotions and let go.
I like doing ballet because it helps me get strong and a lot more flexible.
To me, ballet is a window of opportunity.
I love ballet and it fills my heart with joy. And I just love dancing. Yay!
Thank you so much for joining us for this Enchanted Virtual Experience. We look forward to all of us dancing together in Balboa Park.
But while we wait for the doors of the beautiful Casa del Prado Theater and Dance Studios to open again,
we present you with one final dance from the SDCYB Vault,
featuring many of our fairy tale friends dancing their fairy tales in the park.